Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10 and support the channel at the same time. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends. And guess what? We got some Rivals of Ixalan preview cards to take a look at this afternoon. Polygon put out an article just moments ago showcasing the 9 cards that will be exclusive to the Rivals of Ixalan Planeswalker decks. So we're going to dig in, take a look at those cards. Now, just real fast before we get started, just a quick reminder, if you check out the description below, you'll find a few ways to support what we do here. You'll find our Patreon page link there, as well as links to products on both Amazon and Flipside Gaming. If you make any purchases via those venues, we'll get a small percentage. And remember to check out that promo code too to save 10% at Flipside Gaming. With that being said, let's get into it. A lot of cards to look at. We're going to start off with one of the face cards, Vraska Scheming Gorgon. This is going to cost 2 black and 4. Legendary Planeswalker Vraska Mythic 5 loyalty +2. Creatures you control get +1/+0 till end of turn. -3 destroy target creature. -10 until end of turn. Creatures you control gain Death Touch, and whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, that player loses the game. Okay, so a lot going on here. So if you're not familiar with Planeswalker deck cards, I do want to point something out quickly. These are all technically standard legal, but you're not going to find them in regular packs of Rivals of Ixalan. You would have to buy the coinciding Planeswalker decks to actually pick up these cards. So the first 4 cards we're going to look at appear to be part of this Vraska deck. And it looks like maybe it's a mono black deck unless it's splashing something. But all the cards we're going to see today are going to be mono black. Now, let's talk about Vraska herself. First off, the art's beautiful. This is going to look amazing in foil. And the card itself, I mean, what you'd expect, I guess, from a Planeswalker deck Planeswalker. These are purposely designed to not impact standard. They usually try to outcost them a little bit from the competitive realm so that they stay a casual card. And that's okay, because recently they've been pushing these a little bit harder. So I do feel like they've made better casual cards over the last maybe couple sets now. This one is one of those cards where I feel like I'd be happy to try this out in like Commander. Here's what I like about the card first off. You pay 6, but you get 5 loyalty. It has a +2 ability, so you can tick it up at a nice clip. The +1/+0, I mean, sometimes that will be irrelevant depending on board state, but if you're going wide, every once in a while you get some utility there. The -3, though, is super nice, because if you need to destroy target creature right when this enters the battlefield, that's great considering you're paying 6 for it. Now, the -10 is definitely sweet, but again, it doesn't necessarily always work out for you. If you're behind, and depending on what the board state looks like, sometimes that doesn't save you, which is a little awkward considering it's an expensive ultimate. It's going to take a little time to build up. Usually, if I work on my ultimate, I can actually pull it off. I want this to be an effect that's going to be good in various board states where this doesn't really cover that. But I can let it slide a little bit because it is super sweet. And if I put a lot of maybe unblockable creatures or something into my commander deck, there's a chance I could take out a few opponents at once with something like this. And that actually seems like it could be something fun to try for, if nothing else. So yes, is this going to be a cornerstone of my commander deck? No, probably not. But it would be a card I'd like to play, just try out, and maybe make a little bit of a sub-game within my deck. Again, I do think it's going to be great for casual play, probably a lot of fun right out of the box, maybe playing against another one of the Planeswalker decks. Vampire Champion, a black and 3, 3/3. Vampire Soldier, it's a common with Death Touch, and this will be in the Vraska deck. So not a lot to say about the card. I mean, very serviceable, casual card, 3/3 Death Touch. I like it sometimes when my Death Touch creatures fall into like the 3/3 range, because if the coast is clear, they can put some damage on the board, and that's kind of nice, because sometimes Death Touch creatures just feel very defensive. Like you get the 1/1 Death Touchers, they're just sitting back, sitting back, sitting back. And something like this at least can get in the red zone and be offensive if it needs to be. So I do like that. I like having that versatility in a card. Again, it's not going to cross over into standard or anything, but fine for casual play. Vraska's Conquistador. This is a black and 1 Vampire Soldier 2/1. And when Vraska's Conquistador attacks or blocks, if you control a Vraska Planeswalker, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. And that can be any Vraska Planeswalker, not the one we just saw here. The card itself, not super exciting. I mean, a 2/1 for 2 starts off a little bit weak, has an ability attached to it if you have a Vraska under your control. And even if you do, the ability is actually not all that exciting for a very fragile creature like this. So I'm sure it's serviceable within the deck, again, if you're just playing it out of the box against the other deck or something like that, but not super exciting here. Vraska's Scorn. This costs 2 black and 2. It's a sorcery rare. Target opponent loses 4 life. You may search your library and or graveyard for a card named Vraska Scheming Gorgon. reveal it, and put it into your hands. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. So these decks will always have a tutor effect that will let you get the particular Planeswalker that the deck comes with. So this isn't any Vraska. This has to be the one that is actually included in the deck. Having said that, yeah, it's fine because basically when you buy these decks, the fun of them is playing with a Planeswalker. You're going to find a lot of just kind of casual, mellow cards in these decks. The Planeswalkers are like your big plays. So cards like this allow you to get to those big plays. If it died and was in the graveyard, you get to take it back. That's kind of nice too. So the 4 life to opponent, that's neither here nor there probably most of the time unless you're really close to the end of the game. But being able to give Vraska back I think is cool and definitely worth the casting costs for casual play. Alright, let's move on to the other Planeswalker, which will be included in the other deck. This is Angrath, Minotaur Pirate. It costs a red, a black, and 4. Legendary Planeswalker, Angrath. Mythic, 5 loyalty, +2, and this will deal 1 damage to target opponent and each creature that player controls. -3, return target pirate card from your graveyard to the battlefield. -11, destroy all creatures target opponent controls, and this will deal damage to that player equal to their total power. Okay, so this card feels kind of similar to Vraska in a lot of ways. It's got a +2, a -3, it's got a -11 instead of -10. Both of the ultimates, though, are dependent on board state, but what I like about this one is if I'm behind, this is actually pretty good for me. Destroying all creatures target opponent controls and then dealing damage to the opponent as well. It kind of just saved me if I'm behind, where Vraska doesn't quite do that. Vraska needs me to connect with a creature to really kind of pull myself out of a bad situation. I might not be able to do that, right? So this card is at least a little more open to the idea of bringing you back from behind. The -3, taking a pirate from the graveyard directly into play, that actually feels pretty good to me too, as long as you have enough targets for it. The +2 probably won't be relevant a lot of the time, but again, maybe sometimes just getting the 2 loyalty counters is really what that's about, more so than the actual effect. Much like Vraska, this card's not going to cross over into standard or anything, but I'd like to try it out in some commander builds or some casual play. It seems like it could be a lot of fun, and again, the artwork seems like it will look really nice in foil. Angrath's Ambusher. This costs a black and 2. It's a 2/3 Orc Pirate, uncommon. This will get +1/+0 as long as you control an Angrath Planeswalker. So if you have the Planeswalker in play, this becomes 4/3 for 3. Yeah, that's pretty good. If you don't, it's a 2/3 for 3. Fine curve filler. I mean, not a lot to say about it. It's just a decent curve filler for a very casual deck. Swab Goblin. Red 1/2/2 Goblin Pirates. Common, great curve filler. And it is a pirate, and I do feel like that's probably going to matter in this deck, just from what we've seen so far. Angrath's Fury. Red, black, 3, sorcery, rare. Destroy target creature. This will deal 3 damage to target player. You may search your library and or graveyard for a card named Angrath Minotaur Pirate. Reveal it, put it into your hands, and if you search your library this way, shuffle it. This is actually a pretty good tutor effect for these particular Planeswalker deck effects, right? Again, it's not going to cross over to standard, don't get it twisted or anything, but when it comes to these type of effects, I love that this is a destruction spell. I mean, destroy target creature for 5, that's probably playable in a lot of casual formats anyway. A lot of times in these type of decks, paying 5 to do that, you're pretty happy, even if it is 2 different colors. But being able to pay 5, destroy the creature, and search up your Planeswalker, that feels really sweet, and throw some damage on top too, because why not? So this is maybe one of the better Planeswalker deck tutor effects I've ever seen, and I like it. Again, it's for casual play. It's going to be great if you're playing with this particular Planeswalker, whether it's out of the box or maybe some other casual deck. I actually like it. Pretty cool design. And finally, you get a Cinder Baron's reprint for some color fixing. And this is most likely going to be in the second deck. Unless they're splashing some red in the first deck, then maybe you see that show up there too. But we haven't really seen any indication of that yet. The Vraska deck looks like it's mono black from the cards we've seen so far. But I guess we'll wait and see. But yeah, fine way to fix mana. I mean, nothing too exciting again. It's just the type of card that you see reprinted in these type of decks. With that being said, those are the cards from Rivals of Ixalan's Planeswalker decks. Overall, I like the cards. I mean, you have to adjust expectations a little bit and realize these aren't designed for competitive play. But you get beyond that, and I do think they have made some good cards with some really beautiful art that will be fun, first off, out of the box, but also maybe in Commander, maybe in a cube, some other casual formats. And I could see myself trying out some of these. They actually look like they could be fun to play. So until next time, though, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.